welcome to another episode of the Fans View podcast. Um, Full disclosure before I even start this, I just went on a 10-minute tear of an opening, talking about subject after subject, and then I realized that even though I was recording, my mic was muted. So, yay me. So, this is going to be a much briefer than usual intro. Uh, just to touch on a couple of the things I was going to hit on. Uh, Wrestling is crushing this week. You know, we've got Blood and Guts that just happened for AEW. Slammiversary is all over the news as a huge success for TNA. You know, WWE is working towards SummerSlam next week, which is shaping up to be a fantastic card. And then on NXT, you have one of my personal favorites, Thea Hale and Chase U, going after the women's championship, which is amazing. I love that for her. She's definitely one of my favorites. I don't know that I expect her to win just yet, but being in that position at all is fantastic. So it's only up for Thea and Chase U. What else did I touch on? I touched on me getting my ass kicked in college football, 25 all week. That was fun. Unfortunately, it seems like at 34, as a husband and a father, my better days on the sticks may have passed me by. So that's unfortunate. That game is kick ass. You should definitely go check that out. Oh, what else? I talked about Clemson football a little bit. If you've seen my YouTube channel, you see that I had on defensive end, former Clemson defensive end, Ricky Sapp, which was a fantastic conversation. You know, we talked about his charitable work and the Ricky Sapp Foundation and his book Dream Big, his motivational speaking, and then we touched on a bunch of stories, you know, from his time at Clemson University, which was pretty awesome. I highly suggest you either go watch the YouTube video or in the next couple weeks, Ricky's going to be here on the podcast. So you'll get to hear it one way or another. What else? I guess I can go right into giving you guys the intro to our guest this week, which is Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker. Man, just a fantastic guy. I can't speak highly enough of Malcolm. I've had the opportunity to meet him a number of times already, and he's always got time to talk to everyone, which is tough for him because he is a local celebrity. I've been doing a little bit of work with Carlo Perusa MMA, which I cannot suggest enough. If you're an MMA fan, you have to go to Instagram. Check out Carlo Perusa MMA. He does fantastic work. He has interviews galore. He's super knowledgeable about the product, about MMA. He's fantastic. That is on Instagram. He is Carlo CARLO _MMA, and that's Carlo Perusa MMA. Through my partnership and working with him, I've been fortunate enough to cover some Conflict MMA events here in South Carolina and Georgia, and that's where Malcolm really cut his teeth and came up, you know, as an amateur and after turning pro, which I believe he's undefeated since turning pro. But man, when you talk about somebody who is just as good, and I would absolutely say that he is even better man than he is a fighter, and that's saying something because he's a badass. He is a certifiable badass. And he is a name that you should get to know now because if you're an MMA fan or a UFC fan, you're going to know it real soon. He's actually going to be fighting in just a few weeks, actually. August 27th, he's going to be on Dana White's Contender Series, looking to make his mark and make a name for himself to get into the UFC, which I really, truly believe he will. But that's going to be available on UFC Fight Pass. It may be available on ESPN Plus. I'm not 100% sure on that. You're definitely going to want to go to UFC.com for more info on Dana White's Contender Series, but it is not going to be something you want to miss. Malcolm's just fantastic. You're going to hear it in this interview. And like I said, you can see it on YouTube. You can watch the interview. He is such a good human being. He's humble. He's a smart person. He's a smart fighter, and he's just so damn gifted, talented. He busts his ass. I mean, he has a 9 to 5 job, and he's at the gym every night, working hard. So I think that says so much about his character and him as a man. Um, I can't wait to watch him fight. I really think he's gonna make the most of this opportunity. I think you guys are really gonna fall in love with his story as well. So definitely check that out. Like I said, August 27th, he's gonna be fighting. I think he's the second fight on the card. That's he's gonna kick some ass. With that said, as usual, I got to give you guys the soft pitch to hit all my socials. Please follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, like and subscribe to the YouTube, drop some comments, interact as much as you can. And then also subscribe to the pod and drop a comment. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I just want your support right now. I'm trying to grow this thing. I'm working my ass off right now to get you guys even better guests than I already have, and I think I've had some pretty cool guests so far. I've already got a lot on the books that are really going to be fun. I have a couple wrestlers coming up, a couple more MMA fighters, a couple football players. So we're gonna have some fun here on the Fans View. I'm even working on some WWE talent, but WWE's PR department is a tough cookie to get a hold of. So that's a work in progress. But the more followers I have, the easier it gets. So you guys keep hitting those subscribe buttons and we'll get this thing going. As usual, I am at Jurratt, JURRRATTT, and that is for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, pretty much anything you can think of. I have the link tree set up. If you want to reach out, if you want to buy a sticker or a t-shirt, you can go to TeePublic. That's in my link tree as well. The most important thing, guys, is just the YouTube, the TikTok, the podcast. Please like it, subscribe, share, comment, all that fun stuff. It's free. Everything's free. Just takes a couple minutes of your time, and you do me such a service. I mean, I can't tell you how appreciative I am of every single one of you guys out there. So, with that said, I'm going to shut up, kind of. I'm going to throw to my interview with Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker, and I will see you guys next week. Man, I am excited to bring to you guys, soon to be UFC debuting, Malcolm the Machine Wellmaker. Malcolm, how are you doing, brother? How we feeling?
I feel great, man. I feel real good, man. My camp has been going fantastic, man. Today, I just got back home from doing some good, solid flow rounds. Got to run in this morning. I'm excited, man. Biggest opportunity I got coming in one of the best camps I've ever had in progress. So it's good, man.
Hell yeah, man. I love to hear that. And of course, I just alluded to it, but you're going to be on week 3
Yes,
of
sir.
Dana
Week
White's
3.
Contender Series this year.
Yes, sir.
I think the fight is coming up on August 27th.
Absolutely.
Obviously in Vegas. Can you just talk a little bit about, how that whole opportunity came to be and when you got that call and, something like that?
Yeah, so I've been working with my manager Jason House since I was 3-0 professionally. And I knew of him before that. We actually had a funny relationship. We talked back and forth about Funko Pops on Instagram. And I actually didn't even know who he was at the time when we was talking about Funko Pops, but I had a ton of them, and he had a couple, and Brandon Moreno's into him and all that stuff. So I would talk to him back and forth, and I knew he was somebody, but I didn't know who he was. And then I ended up having a conversation with him one day. I was going through this drought of 8 months of no fighting, man. Professionally, I was getting real antsy, and we hopped on the call, and things aligned. I signed with him, and from that point forward, man, I mean, it was a couple weeks after that he sent me all the way to Kentucky to B2 to fight Zachary Kamara, which was an incredibly tough fight, great fight
Right.
for me. And then that put me at 4-0, and then shortly after that I fought in Augusta 5-0. And as I'm winning these fights, I'm talking to Jason House, my manager, and he's telling me he's really happy with the way everything's going. I'm getting finishes, and it was after my most recent fight in January. As always, I hop on the phone with him right after the fight, because he watches it. And
Right.
after I did that, bro, he said, "Hey, you've done your job. Now let me do mine. Don't take no more fights and wait for a phone call." And
Hell
so,
yeah.
at that point, I knew it could have been a short notice possible step in opportunity on a prelim card or something like that. But more than likely, it was going to be the upcoming season of Contender Series, and I waited for that phone call, and it came through not that long ago, man.
Hell yeah. So are you doing anything different in this camp? Maybe pushing it, a little harder than you normally would? Or is it just the opposite where maybe you're like, I don't want to get hurt right before this fight? What's camp looking like this time around?
You know what's funny is, man. So I'm like one of the like most meathead guys in the gym, bro. Like I like to spar hard. I like hard workouts. I like to run myself into the ground because that's what most of us associate with, being the best prepared we can be. But over the course of time, especially fighting professionally, and then like going through like 5-round wars and stuff, you start learning
Right.
that you got to take care of your body and learning how to train smart. So I've learned a system where I can get my road miles in, I can get my sparring in, I can get my lifting in, and I can get my recovery in. And I think that's probably why I feel like this is the best camp I've had because I'm still clocking great miles on my runs. My sparring's looking great, my conditioning looking great, my technique, strength, everything's looking great, but I'm feeling healthy and I'm not feeling beat down. And
Right.
that's the difference. I think this camp is more efficient than it's ever been, and it's just the right pace, just the right amount of push, just the right amount of pull.
Right. So you're hoping not to have to cut a bunch of weight right before the fight and try to stay in peak condition for this one.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, yeah. And then even then, my cuts aren't super terrible, man. So I'll be dialed in, man. I had plenty of time to get ready, And when I got the phone call, I was still like 12 weeks out. So I got six
Right.
more weeks, and I'm already in great, great, great condition, man.
So I don't think your opponent Adam Brumhold. I don't
Yep,
think he knows what he's got coming. We got an Augusta, Georgia boy. Is gonna be a
that's right.
problem. He's gonna be a
Oh yeah,
problem.
oh
So,
yeah,
what are you in the camp expecting without giving away too much, obviously?
yeah. Of course,
But
of course.
how familiar are you with your opponent as of right now? 6 weeks out, and what are you
Yeah.
guys kind of expecting from him?
We're expecting a striker, man, a very confident striker, a patient striker, and a skill kind of paced approach is what I'm expecting. Like he's not I'm not going to look for him to come out guns blazing looking for like a wow knockout. Like that doesn't really seem his style. He's pretty clean, he's pretty polished, and he's pretty disciplined. So what I'm expecting is a paced fight, a technical fight, and a strategic fight, but for it to predominantly take place on the feet. Um, and if it does stay on the feet, then that'll be a blessing to me. I love to strike, so hopefully
That's
it
right.
stays that way. And if that's what I get, then it's going to be guaranteed that it's going to be an incredible fight to watch. It's going to be so exciting, so fun, and somebody's going to get finished. It's not going
Oh
to be me.
yeah. I'm so excied. I'm so
Oh yeah,
excited for this, man. I know I'm supposed to be a little impartial because I'm interviewing you, but
yeah, yeah.
man,
No
this,
doubt.
this is gonna be you're gonna put on a show. I think
One
I
hundred
think
percent.
Dana White has a show that's gonna happen in front of
Yes,
him.
100%, man. I want to make him stand up. I want to make him put his hands together. It's gonna
Hell
be great.
yeah. Hell yeah. So I guess to kind of circle back, what age were you or just general time frame was it when you decided like, you know what? This is what I want to do. I want to be a fighter. I want to be in that cage. Has that always been something that you wanted to do or is it, a product of well, this kind of fell in my lap, so let's go.
Yeah, honestly, man, I never saw it happening this way. I remember I didn't even know what MMA was until high school. I had a friend who was a big fan of John Jones, and like we'd go to like the high school library. He'd show me John Jones highlights on YouTube. Like that was like the only knowledge I had, but I never had seen a pay per view event. I never saw a live fight ever until I actually started training, and my whole training journey just started because I was getting older, my metabolism was slowing down, I was getting out of shape. And so I started wanting to get into the fitness, getting into the gym. And the guys that I was talking to, because I'm in construction, the guys that I was talking to, they previously had done MMA, and they was like, bro, don't do lifting, go try MMA. Like, that's, you'll learn to defend yourself. It's
Right.
a much better workout. It's so much fun. And so that's the route I ended up taking. And when I got into it, bro, it was just to get in shape, and then it turned into my coach asking me if I wanted to kickbox, because we had a local show coming up, and I was about nine
Right.
months of training in when I had my first kickboxing match. I got a second round TKO, and it was the most incredible experience ever. Like, people was, screaming for me in the hometown, like I'm doing interviews and these pictures, and I'm feeling like somebody, and
Yeah.
even then I didn't think I was going ever become a professional fighter, but I did have my sights set on MMA, because Conor McGregor was the guy that was taking over at the time, bro. And when
Yeah.
he was taking over, that's the guy I would watch. I'd learn how to do his pull counters. I'd like, mirror his shots when I was shadow boxing. And so transitioned into MMA, started knocking people out. And it wasn't until, I really don't even think until my coach told me he wanted me to go pro, that I was like, man, like maybe I can do this. And then, the Jorge Masvidal thing happens, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. And we ended up here. So
That is awesome. And you kind of touched on it a little bit. Once you realize, like, or maybe even before you realized you were gonna do this, who were some of your favorite fighters, growing up when you did start to watch MMA?
Oh, Anderson Silva all day. Anderson
Oh
Silva. And
yes.
and part of it was because of my, like, I only knew the superstars. So I only knew Chuck
Right.
Liddell, I only knew John Jones, and only knew Anderson Silva. Like, but other than that, like, I didn't really know anybody. And the only stuff I ever saw was like the highlights with the rock music on YouTube. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
Anderson Silva, bro, was like the most like mystical striker I've ever seen. Like, John Jones was absolutely brutal and dominant. And then Anderson Silva was just like untouchable. Like, I always remember seeing that, backwards walking jab knockout of Forrest Griffin he did,
Oh
and it was
man.
just insane. And then when I actually got into the sport, like, I started learning other people. But before that, that's all it was. Chuck Liddell was knocking people out with the wild swings that had a beer belly, you know what I mean? And then John Jones and
Yes.
Anderson Silva. It was the great.
Yes.
That was all I knew. And they was mesmerizing, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Anderson in his prime before he broke his leg,
Oh man, bro.
nobody could stand to him.
He was the Michael
Nobody.
Jordan of MMA, bro. All day,
I,
bro. All
and
day.
and I feel like he's pretty like he gets mentioned with the greats, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still think he's underappreciated because I mean,
Yes.
he was mystical's the perfect word.
Yeah, he was in a league of his own. It was nobody that could be associated with what he was doing and the impression he was putting on people for MMA when he was the one doing it. Like, no doubt about it. Like, untouchable great, bro. Untouchable.
Agreed, 100% agree with you there. And
Absolutely.
while we're talking about professional fighters, and you mentioned it earlier,
Mhm.
you've fought for Game Bread here recently, haven't you? For Jorge, his
Yeah, the icon
promotion.
shows. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. So a little birdie, I won't mention who, a little birdie told me that you just have the best Jorge Masvidal story. So I want to give you the floor to talk
Uh,
about the Miami Street Jesus and your interaction with him.
yeah, man. So going back talking about these library days where my friend was showing me all these fights and stuff. So I also remember back then he used to show me Kimbo Slice. We'd be in the school library, watching Kimbo Slice knock people eyeballs out of their socket,
Yes.
and Jorge, yeah, you already know
Oh
Jorge
yeah.
was associated with that same street league, right? So
Yep.
when I started actually getting into MMA and then watching Jorge Masvidal, like, he was one of the guys that I held up there as like people I admired in the sport. So when I get this opportunity to go fight for Icon FC, it's surreal to me because, before me, the only professional fighter to ever come out my gym was Pops, the original guy, and he fought in the Wild West days. Like, he was fighting in the you know what I mean?
Right.
And then my actual coach, his son Jason Fageman Jr. So those were the only two professionals to ever come out of the gym, and then it was me. And so not only did I go pro, I get this shot to go fight on Icon FC in front of Jorge Masvidal, and it's like, bro, mind blown. Like, we're achieving things we never achieved. So first and foremost, I'm already like, in this position where everything's surreal. And I remember at the weigh-ins, like, he recognized me. He walks up to me like, Malcolm, what's up? And I dap him up, and I'm just like, I'm calling home, telling him like, hey, Jorge Masvidal, my best friend. Like, you know what I mean? So that was already insane. But I go in and I fight, and I was the first professional fight on that card, because they had I think two amateur fights that they didn't air on
Mhm.
UFC Fight Pass, but I was the first UFC Fight Pass fight. And I was fighting a debut guy at the time. I was either 1-0 or 2-0. No, 1-0 at the time. And I get the most devastating, knockout ever, bro. I hit him with
Yes.
the left, and he does an absolute 360, and he's out cold. And then boom, I hit him with this hammer fist. And like right after I did it, bro, I just scanned the crowd, and I find Jorge Masvidal. I jump the cage, and I go up to him, and I dap him up, bro. And like I still don't remember word for word everything that was said, because it was just such a crazy, fast paced moment. And
Yeah.
so we're having this moment, we smiling and all this stuff like that. And before I go into the back, after I'm still in my fight shorts, I still got sweat on me and everything. Me and my corners are right there by the table with him and dapping him up, bro. He said, "Hey, I got a little bit extra something for you for your knockout." And he goes into this yellow envelope and he pulls out $1,000 cash. And I didn't even know. First of all, I didn't know if it was my purse money. I didn't know how much money it was. I didn't know nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just like still in all that. He is embracing me the way he is. And we walk back to the back. My coach got my fight check, and he got my cash. And I do a little interview, and then I go to my coach, and I'm like, what was that? And he was like, bro, Jorge Masvidal just gave you $1,000 cash and your fight check. And I'm like, bro, no way, bro. I just literally got a cash knockout bonus from Street Jesus, like you said, bro. And it was just, the whole experience was absolutely surreal. Like Dean Tool and them, they took me downtown. We had a little VIP section, bro. It was like unlimited bottles. I was in there with my corners. My corners don't drink. Like, you know what I mean? I'm in there with the hoodies and my corners, and we dancing and taking pictures, bro. It was just the most insane experience. And that's when I started to realize, after talking to Jorge Masvidal, Dean Tool, Levi, his assistant, Pearl Gonzalez, bro, all of these people, like I had that one night and I left an impression on them, and they convinced me that they really believed I could do something great. And I took that to heart. You know what I mean? I came back to
Yeah.
Augusta, and at that point, I was telling everybody, I was like, "Hey, bro, we going to the UFC. Like, it's gonna happen."
Yeah.
And I really started to believe at that point.
That's amazing, man. That's such a good story too, because it's so on brand for Masvidal.
Insane, bro. Insane. Cash money, bro. We're gonna get him on the record to verify that story, bro. But it,
Oh,
it
I
happened, bro.
can't wait. We
It
gotta
happened,
get him.
bro.
I got to
It
get him.
happened.
I've got to ask
Insane,
him
bro.
about that.
Yes, man.
So I guess that would be probably we'd consider that like the glamorous side of it.
Absolutely.
It's not all glamour. You're a hardworking man. Like sacrifices have to be made to get to the level that you're at now. And,
Yes, sir.
and you're on a trajectory to go even higher. But can you just talk about some of the sacrifices as a man you've had to make, to
Yeah.
get to this level?
You know, a lot of people, like, I think with everything, pursuing success and everything takes a level of sacrifice. But fighting, man, is just such a different type of battle, man. For myself in particular, I'm a pipe fitter. I work construction, 10-hour work days. Sometimes we got overtime. A lot of times we work even past, overtime, doing insane shifts because we got timelines we
All right.
gotta get stuff done on. And every day, I leave the work boots and I put on my gloves and I come to the gym, and I gotta take beatings or give them. You know what I mean? And it's hard work
Yeah.
every single day. And this is something, at this point, I've been living like this for 7 years straight. From the time I started training to this day, it has been a consistent, intentional uh effort to get better and constantly train as many possible days of the week that I can, and with that being said, just the type of physical exertion that you go through every night on the mats, the type of humbling you have to go through every night on the mats, like, and to really be good at this, man, to really make the progress that you want to make, you got to do the things you don't like. It was years I was wrestling and I was getting pinned by high schoolers. I was a grown man paying bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I go work a 10-hour shift. I'm slinging hammers and turning wrenches. And I come on the mats, and there's some kid in high school, 16-year-old, he put me on my back, and I can't do nothing about it. And I
Yeah.
had to go through that for years and years and years. And it's not like I come in the gym and I just, put leather on everybody and I get to feel good about myself. It's like, no, you got to do the workouts you don't want to do. You got to do the runs when you hate running. You got to do the wrestling
Yep.
when you hate wrestling. And you got to get tapped over and over and over and thrown around the gym, and like have this mental fortitude to really want to go through this and see it through when you can't tangibly see who you're going to be on the other side. You know, it's so
Right.
challenging. And that's aside from, you know, God forbid you take a loss in the cage, you know, the type of psychological shape back you got to go through with that.
Right.
Injuries. Oh Lord, I can't count how many things I've fractured, dislocated, you know, just pulled things. It's a hard road. But even with all that being said, bro, the impact I've made on people, the things I've accomplished, the platforms I've had the honor of being on, all worth it. But what an absolute investment it has been, man, to just get to where I'm at. And I tell the younger guys all the time, like, you know, they'll go on this, like, you know, 6 month to a year streak of like training super hard and going extremely hard, fighting, competing. And they're like, man, yeah, after I get that belt, bro, I'm gonna take my foot off the gas and relax a little bit. And I'm like, hey, bro, it gets harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. That's
your
when the work
competition gets
starts.
better. Yeah, bro. Your competition gets better. Somebody wants to take your spot. Somebody wants your belt. Like, it gets harder, and you just have to be ready to just commit and lock in and expect for this to be what life is as long as you're pursuing this goal.
Yeah.
But it's hard, bro. And even with me putting it into the words I put it into, I did it no justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane, bro.
I'm man, I respect everything you just said because I know I couldn't do it. Um, so I guess that lends itself to my next question would be, what does success look like to you, to Malcolm Wellmaker? Is it, is it main event in a UFC card? Is that success? Is it fighting for Dana White? For the Contender Series? Is it winning? Is it just is it getting paid to fight? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what does success mean to you specifically?
You know, I don't want to like play this humble card, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just be so honest with you, bro. Uh, I'm already successful. I'm gonna be so dead honest. And when I say that from a place of, if I didn't wake up tomorrow, bro, I'd be at peace. Like, with the things I've accomplished, with the people I've inspired, bro, I'm telling you right now, there's a 100% chance our gym produces a UFC champion. It's 100% chance. And like, I see the way that the people that's coming behind me have been inspired. I see the growth in our gym. And like, with that being said, bro, my gym when I first joined, like I said, my coach was the only professional fighter at the time. I hadn't even competed before, and I was trying to help him prepare for his professional fights because we didn't have partners. There was days where on Saturdays I would open up the gym for sparring, and to get guys to come spar with me, I'd post on Facebook, hey, we got sparring. Now it's a closed session, right? But I used to
Right.
just, whoever wanted to come, because we didn't have partners. We literally didn't have like padding on the wall. It was holes in the wall. When the NFC organization from Atlanta wanted to come down to shoot a promo video for my upcoming title fight as an amateur, we had crash pads. We Pop said, hey, put the crash pads up on the wall so that they don't see the holes in the wall. Like, it was like that. It was multiple summers where the electricity bill was significantly higher. And so my coach, because of lack of members, would have to pay the utilities bill because we wasn't covering it with, yeah, it was like that, bro. And for us to have made it to where we made it, you know, I landed a ambassador deal with the Gold's Gym in Columbia County up here. It's something I never thought I could do. I can't count how many people, like I did the last year's Augusta show. It was literally over 200 people in the crowd with my face on their shirt. Like the messages I received regularly, and like achieving going to Vegas on the UFC's dime, having this Performance Institute experience, sharing it with the people, the way I've inspired these guys, and the way I've done it and been genuine and sincere and maintain these connections, bro. I'm already successful. And as long as I maintain that with whatever I accomplish, I'm good, bro. Like, I don't care whether I get a belt or not. I don't care whether I even get a contract on this fight, bro. Like, my work has already superseded what I ever thought I was capable of. So for me, in my heart, I feel successful. Like Pops, I talk to Pops. If I never made it this far, Pops is proud of me. He content with everything I did. So like, I am successful, but I still want to
That's
knock out Sean O'Malley. Like, let's keep it, raw though. Like, I want to fight the best of the best. Like, listen, bro, I watch the 135 division and I watch the guys getting pushed and I watch the performances they put on and I know I can do it. And I know I got power, I got style, I got personality, I got everything. So success that I'm shooting for in a material sense and like a actual like tangible sense. Yeah, we talking about UFC gold. We talking about me having fights that make it to the Hall of Fame. We talking about performance bonuses. We
Hell
talking
yeah.
about, you know, real deal sold out stadiums, like multi-millionaire, a facility with like a real facility with a cage in it, and to where none of my homies got to work no more. We can coach and we can do
Yes,
what we want
sir.
to do. We have absolute freedom of time. That's what success I want. That's what I'm shooting for, and that's in my heart what I'm fighting for.
Hell
But when
yeah.
we talk about fulfillment, I'm good. As long as I keep using my platform and doing things the way I'm doing, I'm fulfilled and I'm successful as can be. But we coming for it all. We coming for
Bro,
everything.
I love that answer, and I can speak to this too. I want to talk to the people that are watching this. I've met Malcolm. I've talked to him, and that answer he just gave, that's the same answer he gave me off camera when I met him. So I know that's real deal. That's
Thank
not
you, brother.
bullshit there.
Thank you, brother.
So leading into that, you were talking about your camp, your gym. They've got a big night coming. What, in 2 weeks? 1 week?
Yeah, not this weekend, but the next
Yeah,
weekend.
next weekend. We got a big one.
Man,
It's Conflict 63,
yep.
Fight Night in the CSRA in Augusta, Georgia, baby.
Yeesh,
What
man.
what do you guys got going on?
Man. So this is what's so beautiful, man. You know, my very first time ever fighting in Augusta, we had 4 guys compete on the card. Well, 3 guys and 1 lady, right? But it was 4 of us. It was my coach, Jason Fagler Jr. He was the main event, and it was his little brother, Joel Fagler. It was me making my debut, and Jason Fagler's wife, Amberly. So it was only 4 of us. And on this card, bro, we have 10 fighters on this card,
Oh
bro.
yeah.
It's insane. We have Quincy defending his titles. We have Joel making his pro debut. We have Jake making the headlining fight main event yet again. And then we got so many young guys, man, that's climbing their way up the ranks. You know, doing their MMA fights. We even got guys doing kickboxing fights. We got Amanda. She's on our team, one of the newest ladies on our team, bro. And she's gonna be doing a very fun kickboxing match that I can't wait to see. Um, it's gonna be huge, man. And it just this isn't even the whole competition team. There's still other people that didn't get to get on this card that we're looking for other fights for. So it's gonna be an amazing night, man. Every time there's a show in Augusta, it's like a holiday, bro. Like, I mean, so many people come out. Yeah, so many people come out. It's such a big celebration. And you know, God willing, we get a clean sweep like we did last year. Last year, all of us got knockouts. All of
Yeah.
100% win rate, and all of us got knockouts. You know, and that's what I'm looking for this year. You know, absolutely dominant performances across the board, clean sweep, and we all go home with a medal around our neck. So I'm super excited. Really big night for the team, and it's gonna do great for the community and for the school. So I can't wait, man.
People definitely need to check that out. That's Conflict MMA, guys. If you're near
Absolutely.
Augusta, you're in the low country, check that out. Me and
Um,
Carlo Cruz at MMA, we'll be there covering it live.
yes,
Malcolm will
sir.
be there
Yes, sir.
supporting the group.
Yes,
It's gonna be a
absolutely,
lot of
absolutely,
fun.
man.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be huge.
So
Can't wait. It's gonna be a great time.
to try to, I'll let you go after one or two more. This is the Fans View
Yeah.
podcast. So from a fan's perspective, what are you into outside of MMA when you're not working, when you're not, putting people to sleep? What are you a fan of? Is it like a sports team, a hobby, a TV show? What are you into
Yeah.
outside of MMA?
Man, I hate to be boring, bro, but my life is working, fighting, bro. That is literally all I do, bro. Like I work my job throughout the day, and then after that, I come home and I train. And then at the end of the night, like I like to wind down. Like I might watch a TV show or a movie or something like that. I love watching movies when I have the time. But even with that being said, it takes me 3 seconds to finish a movie. Like, cause I don't have 2 hours. Like I'll watch 30 minutes, I'll pass
Yeah.
out, bro. So like I love to like, relax, unwind, and watch a movie. And then I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan too. So every time a Mortal Kombat game drops, like for like 3 to
Yeah.
6 months, bro, I'm geeked out.
Yeah.
But like after that, when the community get advanced and I can't like win online matches no more, I hang it up. So I ain't played Mortal Kombat in at least like 5 months at least. I hadn't even picked up the controller. But when it came out, I was a fiend. So I'm sure I'll go through a phase like that again at some point. So Mortal Kombat when it's fresh and I'm not getting whooped too bad. Movies when I get the time to sit back and relax and just really just hang out with the guys, man. I love having friends over. We watch fights, just quality time with my folks, man. I pull up on my family on the weekends and all that stuff like that. But yeah, man, I am kind of like just a meathead fighter at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, all right. You're a fellow. I love Mortal Kombat, especially
Yeah.
the movies. The games I'm
Mhm.
terrible at, but the movies I
Yeah.
really dug. So if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Mortal Kombat 1995 or that
Mhm.
latest remake that they've made. If you can only watch one of them, which one you going with?
It's the old one from '95, bro. The old one from
Yes.
'95 was just like, because if you saw it when you was as young as we was back then, because I was born in '94, so like when I
Yeah.
saw it, bro,
Yeah.
this stuff was like it would take me to another dimension. Like I'd be absolutely consumed in the universe of Mortal Kombat, and it was amazing, bro.
Yes.
And even now, like I watch it now, and it don't have like such a heavy impact with the effects and stuff because it's so old, but it's
Oh, they're
still like
terrible.
as
Yeah.
nostalgic. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But it's still incredible, man. It's nothing like it. Like Goro looks goofy as hell, right? But
Oh
but
God.
it's
Yes.
still amazing. It's amazing. And the new one was good, but
Yeah.
the way they did it was like it was a spin on like the classic, and you always gotta update it. But the 95, bro, nothing like it, bro. Just absolutely like
Yeah.
a
It still
childhood
holds
movie
up.
treasure. Yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for
It
sure,
still
dude.
holds up.
Um,
Annihilation, not so much, but that one
no,
definitely holds up.
the classic is it's unbeatable, unbeatable.
Are you? Am I crazy? Are you a Funko guy like I am?
Oh, bro, yeah. I counted them recently. I got 73, I think. I got too
Jesus.
many. I don't even have room to display them all, bro. I got like 12 in my living room. I got like the big, huge ones, like the supersized ones. I got some of them
Yeah.
in my den. And then I got a bookshelf I bought for Funkos. I filled it up, and then I got some on top of it. And now it's overstock season. And then I got
Oh
another shelf
yeah.
in my bedroom. Like it's to the point now, like the only ones I buy now, I can't buy ones that I just want because it's gonna get out of hand. So I gotta buy like
Yep.
rare ones. Those are the
Yep.
ones I buy. But like,
Yep.
if I just buy the ones I want, bro, my house will be just overrun with Funko Pops. But I
Yeah,
love
I had to make the rule too. If I can't get it signed, I can't buy it. I can't.
bro. That's incredible. Yeah, because Carlo does that too, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm offloading my collection because they're just so hard to
Bro,
maintain.
that's insane. Like I never thought about that getting them signed. That makes them
Yeah.
so much more like valuable and
Oh
significant. I
man.
like that idea. But like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get some of mine signed. Like I got like Elf by Will Ferrell. Like that's one of my treasured ones. Like I can't imagine ever getting him to sign it.
I'll show you this one just because it's right here by me. I don't know if you're a Breaking Bad guy and the
Is
light's
that
gonna
Gustavo
get.
Fringe?
Yeah. The
What? That's crazy.
the dead version with his
Oh
face. You can't
man.
see it because of the light, but yeah, it's
Yeah, nah,
Gustavo
that's
Fring.
fire, bro. That's
Yeah,
signed?
man. Yeah, signed.
Oh my god, bro! I watched Breaking Bad like years ago when it was still,
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. But it
yeah,
was incredible, and Gustavo Fringe was amazing, bro. He was
yeah,
amazing. That's sick, bro.
yeah.
That's absolutely sick,
that's
bro.
that's my baby right there. That and my
That's
Trevor
nice.
Lawrence, man.
Golly, where did you meet him at?
Raleigh Supercon, I think a couple years ago.
Man, that's crazy. No, that's a
Yeah,
flex. That's big flex. Anybody that know anything, that's big flex, bro.
yeah.
Big
That's an
flex.
expensive Funko right there, brother.
Boy, yeah. Even unsigned. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
that's sick.
vaulted, so it's
That's
hard
sick.
to
Yeah,
find.
respect. You got my respect on that. All
Yeah,
day.
I'll have to shoot you some pictures later.
Please do.
My WWE Funko game signed is just out of
That's
control.
fire, bro. That's
Out of
fire.
control. I
Y'all
wish
change
my
the game.
wife felt that way.
You said what?
I wish my wife felt that way.
She
She
ain't
doesn't
like
feel
that?
that way. Nah,
Nah,
not at
exactly.
all.
But you gotta have your own thing, so it's cool. It's
That's
cool.
right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's awesome, man.
But yeah, I guess man, just taking this thing home. How we feeling? Like, are we excited? Are we nervous going into this fight? I mean, what's your message to the people about this fight coming up, brother?
So it's kind of weird, man, because I always thought when this opportunity came, it would be like I would feel like it was so much bigger than me and the pressure would be crazy and like the
Right.
nerves would be insane. And maybe it's not because I'm not close enough yet, but I don't feel, super nervous or too much anxiety, or like I'm not questioning too much, bro. I really just feel like just so content with where I'm at in my career, the fight that's in front of me, the preparation that I've done, not just during this camp, but
Yep.
all the work I've put in, bro. I've been living a very consistent, clean, and hard working lifestyle for so long, that I'm just supremely confident for this fight. So the nerves aren't too bad. I'm sure I'll feel them, just the typical amount that I always feel before
Right.
competition. But I just feel prepared. I feel ready for this moment, and I feel like I want to really be in front of Dana. I want to be in front of those cameras to finally show that I can do what I do on that level. Um, it's super exciting, man. I'm just ready to do it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And I was just about to say, you seem very calm when you talk about it, and I believe you could chalk that up to you're prepared. More than anything is what it feels
Absolutely.
like to an outsider.
Absolutely, man. It's like I'm telling you, man. I've When I was in the amateurs, there was like one camp I remember, and it was the camp that I lost my MMA fight, and I kind of cut corners. Like it was a fight against a wrestler upcoming, and I had been knocking out wrestlers before that, but I wasn't doing my wrestling. I wasn't showing up to wrestling. I just come to the gym late and do bad work and stuff. But that was my fourth amateur MMA fight. I fought amateur 10 times.
Right.
Um, so I experienced what it was like to not give my absolute all. And fortunately for me, like my head not too hard. So like I learned my lesson. And since then, bro, like every camp, man, I really truly have left no stone unturned. I've done absolutely everything in my power to prepare myself for not just those fights, but this moment, for this fight, to be in front of Dana White and to be able to compose myself and knock out whoever it was in front of me. I didn't care who it was. And luckily for me, they gave me who they gave me. I'm very confident that I'm gonna go out there and get the win. So I'm just excited. I'm ready, man. The camp's been great. My health has been great. My confidence has been great. I got about 6 more weeks. So I'm gonna keep training hard and peak at the right time, get a good, solid, clean weight cut in, and it'll be showtime, baby.
Hell yeah, man. That's what we like to hear.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Malcolm, I want to thank you so much, brother. You've been very generous with your time. Everybody needs to go watch you fight on August 27th,
Sir.
2024. We're
Sir.
gonna take down Adam Brumhold in the Dana White Contender Series, brother.
Don't.
Like I said, thank you very much for your time, man.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
talk
No
again
problem.
soon,
Thank
real
you.
soon.
Let's do it.
All right, man.
If you haven't liked or subscribed, you're going to be joking me.